welcome to the horror show. I'm Susie von Slaughter.
I'm Marcia Parker, and today we are doing another Patreon review.
Woo!
It is Juan of the Dead, and it was requested by Media Kraken.
Yeah. Again, thank you.
Yes. So, Susie, what's your overall thoughts about this one?
I initially going into it, I was a little worried because it was not in English and there are subtitles. Only because I don't like reading, because I like to be still engaged to like what I'm watching. Mm-hmm. So that was the only thing. But it was hilarious. I loved it. It was so funny. I love Juan, the main character. Just so goofy and just like the whole... Okay, we'll get into that. Okay, so what did you think, Marcia?
I actually really enjoyed it. I wasn't sure what I would feel about this because I'm kind of sick of the zombie world, but
right.
It is very similar to Shaun of the Dead in the fact that, it's, you got your two buddies and they're dealing with this zombie situation, and they are definitely the guys who kind of float through life. So it was really entertaining in that, and they had... a great cast, and overall performance was amazing. And even though it was definitely all in Spanish, so it was a foreign film, and it blew my mind. I thought it was way good.
Yes, so I want to agree again with you there. The zombie thing, that was the other thing that I was really worried about. And I'm like, I never liked zombies to begin with. I never was on the Walking Dead train. Was not about it whatsoever. But this, like you said, was very Shaun of the Dead. But the way that they went about taking care of the business, obviously, okay, you can imagine the story, zombies come, but the thing that's different about this movie is the way that they decide to handle the zombie problem, because it isn't it isn't taking over right away. So people are trying to get rid of the zombie problem. So what do? They create a business of getting rid of zombies.
Yes. Yeah.
And it's like the best thing. It's the funniest thing. That, yes, as you said, the characters. I love the characters. Each and every single one. I thought they did a really, really good job. Again, it isn't one of those things you're going to see an Academy Award for. It is very, it's very funny. It's very silly. And again, just very Shaun of the Dead. But in Puerto Rico... So
Cuba.
Yeah, it's all the same.
Yeah. We can dive in this story a little bit. So you start off with the main character, who's Juan, and his friend, who I don't remember his name at all, but he's wacko. And they're floating on this makeshift boat, fishing, and they have this whole conversation where you get the gist of, like, they kind of just are floating through life and just kind of making it. They don't have a real job. They don't really have any real home or responsibilities, and they're not looking for that. And so... Well, they're hanging out on the water. All of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, I got a fish," and it was actually a zombie. And his friend readily harpooned the zombie in the head. And they're like, "We're just not going to tell anybody about this, okay?" Because they weren't really sure what was happening at this point. And so they go through their whole daily routine, and they're doing their thing. And you meet a couple side characters, and you're starting to kind of get the gist of the area. And when they went to this meeting where they met, was like a town hall meeting, and they're all hanging out, and that's when all of a sudden people started getting eaten by zombies, and they're like, "Whoa, this is crazy.
This is not normal."
Yeah. So they band together, they figured it out, they realized something was off. But my favorite thing was when they trying to figure out what it was that was causing people to try to eat people. They didn't think zombies at first.
No.
Yeah, so they had this old couple that she's like, "There's something wrong with my husband. I think he's dead." And then they're like, "I don't know." And they're like, "Well, maybe he's a vampire." So they shove
that's what they get. Oh, that's right.
They shove garlic in his mouth, and they're like, "Well, do you have any wooden stakes?" And you're like, "I don't know." And they break up a table, and they kept staking him, and he just kept coming back. And they're like, "I just really don't understand what's happening." And then they're like, "Well, I'll get the harpoon." So the guy gets the harpoon, and he shoots the guy, and ended up killing the mother too. Or
that's right. She was sitting in the rocking chair,
and he's like, "You're never allowed to use the harpoon again." But yeah, it was.
Oh, that harpoon!
It comes back a lot in this movie. So they go through, they get their band of people together, and they decide instead of leaving the island with everybody else, they're gonna stay and do like a get rich quick scheme by getting rid of zombies for people, which quickly didn't really work out for them at all.
Yeah. I mean, it was going good for a bit.
Yeah.
But things just started escalating. The problem started getting worse, and there's only so many people that you can take out, especially one that can't look at blood.
Yeah. Yeah, that guy was great. So you had this cross-dresser named China, and
China.
China was great, and her bodyguard, who was all her muscle, but he didn't like the sight of blood. So their whole action scene was great, because she could, like, she had a slingshot, and so she would take people out with a slingshot, and he was all like had a bandana over his eyes, blindfolding him, and she's telling him like, left, right, snap their neck, whatever, duck, and then she would do these crazy moves.
Silly.
It was so over the top. So over the top. Every moment was worth it. It was so great. What did you think about overall story?
Overall story, I thought it was really funny. I thought it was really good. Again, I don't like zombies, and even though it's been done before, Shaun of the Dead, but I really enjoyed this take on it. Mm-hmm. So, points for you.
Yeah, I liked it. I like that. There's something to say that just when you're looking at zombies from a different perspective, it just kind of makes you feel good. And we can talk about go into like the makeup of the zombies, because I think that's important, because it wasn't really that much. They just kind of put like,
I don't
blood.
know. I mean, I don't really think they had the budget for something like that.
No.
But
this definitely was a low budget.
I think it worked for what it was. I think it worked, again, like, the things are being done over and over again, so that it was nice to have something like this come that was different. Mm-hmm. It was the same, but it was different. It was done well. So even though the makeup wasn't, it was super special effects like Walking Dead stuff, it completely worked for this film.
It was very minimum, but they did have some special effects.
Yes, they did.
They had the buildings were blowing up randomly in the city of Havana, which was really fun to watch, because they'd just be sitting on the rooftop, and all of a sudden you just see another building like just explode and fall down because the whole city's falling apart. A helicopter explosion was in there too. So I think all their money kind of went into those special effects. Everything else was super practical, super easy.
Yeah.
But it doesn't take you out of it at all. It just brings it kind of completes the whole feel, because they were kind of like, skating by life. They're not really putting a lot of money or effort into anything. Right. So it kind of like completed it.
I think it worked.
It fit.
So, what next? Acting?
Acting. I thought acting was great in this movie.
Yes, for this film, it was perfect.
Yeah. I mean, every character did their job, and like they brought everybody to life, and you really started getting attached to them. Even the ridiculous ones, you're like,
each one brought their own element.
Mm-hmm.
It was great.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, overall, it did good. Nobody took me out of it at all. And there was no real villains either in this movie. It was straight up man versus zombie.
Yeah.
So I like that. And Juan was amazing. The guy who did Juan, when he delivered his lines, like whether it was like a quick comeback or a jibe, anything, he just he hit it every single time.
Yeah, not even just the way he delivered it was so perfect.
There was even a sentimental situation when they thought that his friend was going to die. Remember that? And they're up on the rooftop. And I just want to see the sun rise one more time. And they had a really very good moment, but they also had a very bro moment that
bromance to the max.
Yeah, it totally was awesome.
Yeah, it's we won't spoil that for you.
No, because there was a great there's a great moment.
Juan's a true friend. Let's just put it at that.
He will go the extra mile to bring a smile to his friends.
Face. Oh, Juan, you're so great.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's great.
Anything else?
Yeah, music was like, there was one really good call out for music, and that was when Juan and China were doing their little like zombie dance.
Oh, that's right. Oh,
yeah,
that was really
good.
funny.
That's when I really started paying attention to the music and the movie, and I thought they did a really good job lining the music with whatever was going on screen. So
yeah, so China ends up turning into a zombie, and Juan is handcuffed to China, so he can't get away. So it's this super awesome like dance scene that happens.
So like salsa dancing.
Yes, it's done so
like,
well.
Dance fighting, and it was brilliant.
Awesome. That was so great.
That made the movie for me right there.
Yeah, no, that
I
was really
actually
great.
rewound the movie and rewound. Like
wow.
on my VHS tape, I rewound it and watched it again because I thought it was
it was so great.
I loved it.
So if that tells you anything about it, I love horror comedies. I know you do. So this is, and again, for someone who's not a huge zombie fan, this is definitely worth the watch.
Yeah,
for sure. So I think that's about it.
Yeah, that's
for One
everything for One of the Dead. Definitely check it out. You can get it on Amazon, YouTube. It's like a few bucks. It's worth getting and trying out for once. If you're a huge zombie fan, if you love Shaun of the Dead,
even if you don't like zombies,
you gotta watch it. You gotta put it on your queue. And I want to really thank Media Kraken for bringing this suggestion for us to watch.
He's on a roll with me right now.
Yeah, I would not have even thought of watching this movie, and I'm so glad I had.
I definitely wouldn't have.
Yeah.
I definitely would have skipped it.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't have done it. I would have thought it was a horrible Shaun of the Dead ripoff. Like, just in the name alone, I was like, no.
I'm like,
that's what I was thinking.
A Cuban Shaun of the Dead.
I mean, it worked.
But it worked. It worked.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yes.
Thumbs up.
So thank you, Media Kraken.
Yep.
If you would like to become a patron, which we know you do, tell them where to go, Marcia.
Just click on the link below and sign up, and you can pick your tier. And if you get the right tier, then you can tell us to watch movies that you think we should watch. You can also do different polls. You can do lots of things. So just go on there, sign up, and if you decide you don't want to be a patron, that's still okay. You have an opportunity to subscribe, and then make sure to click on the bell, because then that way you can know every time you can see our beautiful faces.
All right, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Susie Von Slaughter.
I'm Marcia.
And remember, stay scared.